Good Morning America intensifying search. A day after the remarkable rescue of those 4 miners trapped in a flooded cave and the emotional family reunions, the race against time to locate 2 others still missing, as we hear from rescuers on the scene.
Driver charged. The man behind the wheel of the bus involved in a deadly crash on I-95 in Virginia, charged with involuntary manslaughter.
It seems fairly clear that if there was any braking, there wasn't much.
The latest on the NTSB investigation.
Sonic boom. Thousands of Americans across New England shaken up.
It literally felt like someone was slamming all our doors in the house at once.
What caused it and the energy released, an estimated equivalent to 300 tons of TNT.
Fired. The North Carolina officer seen on video punching a woman during an arrest, losing his job, and possibly facing criminal charges, as we hear from the police department and the woman's family this morning.
Cancer blood tests aimed at detecting over 50 cancers. The preliminary findings, what it found and what it didn't. Is it right for you? And what's the cost? Dr. Darian is here to break it all down.
And Spurs of the moment.
Wembanyama throws it on his head.
San Antonio defeats reigning champs Oklahoma City Thunder.
The San Antonio Spurs have done it.
In an epic Game 7, setting up an NBA Finals rematch with the Knicks going back nearly 3 decades. Live from ABC News headquarters in New York City, it's Sunday. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America. Great to have Rachel Scott back at the desk with us this morning. Did you get any sleep?
Great game last night. It is Wemby's West, y'all.
Right, exactly. Some groggy eyes this morning. An exciting Game 7, though. The Spurs now getting ready for their NBA Finals matchup with the Knicks, the rematch. We'll have all the highlights coming up.
We will, and we'll also have the latest from Washington on whether the U.S. is any closer to a peace deal with Iran. Plus, more on that incredible sonic boom that literally shook New England. So we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, you're going to have more on that. But we do begin with the new details involving the rescue of those miners that were trapped in a cave in Laos and the dramatic scene 10 days after they were effectively buried alive, and the intensifying search now for the 2 miners that are still missing. ABC News foreign correspondent Britt Clennett is in Hong Kong with more. Good morning, Britt.
Good morning, Rachel. Yeah, well, we had joy and relief, remember, after the 5 of those men made it out of the cave alive. But now the focus is shifting to the 2 others who are still missing. And that, we're told, is an even trickier operation, as they're likely in an area deeper into this incredibly tight, unmapped network of tunnels.
This morning, just one day after the remarkable rescue of those 5 miners trapped in a flooded cave for over a week, the race intensifying to find 2 others who are still missing. Search teams planning to explore deeper inside the cave beyond where the 5 were found. Rescuers will battle a pitch-black, heavily flooded maze of tunnels, the most hazardous part of this operation.
There is the constant fear in the back of your head that if it rains, this thing that you are, slowly working your way through could very easily be flooded with water.
The rescued miners are now in the hospital and we're told they're doing fine. The first miner was rescued on Friday before the tunnels were extensively drained. He's seen crawling on his hands and knees through tiny passages. But then the rescuers were able to pump out even more water, eventually enabling 4 of the remaining miners to crawl out themselves. Exhausted, but grateful to be alive and reunited with their loved ones.
Now, adding to the complications of locating the 2 remaining men is the fact that this is monsoon season, and we're told another tropical downpour there has already flooded up the cave again. Now, the divers, though, they are not giving up, even looking for new cave entrances to cover all possibilities of finding them. Gio?
Not giving up, but truly incredible to see those reunions right there. Britt Clennett, thank you so much. Now to the what was that moment across New England? A massive boom shaking buildings. NASA this morning confirming it was a meteor breaking up 40 miles above the Earth. This was the sound heard by thousands across New England Saturday afternoon. NASA confirming to ABC News that sonic boom Shaking homes from Massachusetts to New Hampshire was a fireball traveling at roughly 75,000 miles per hour that fragmented midair, 40 miles high.
You hear a logic explosion in West Peabody? We're getting called. I heard it and felt it, but no idea where it came from.
It literally felt like someone was slamming all our doors in the house at once.
Manny Karash says seconds after he heard the boom, his entire house began to rumble.
You can see in the footage that I provided, you can see like the physical shaking of the cameras. Whatever that shockwave was enough to literally move things.
NASA says the fireball was a natural object and not a re-entry of space debris or a satellite, adding the energy released at breakup is estimated to be equivalent to about 300 tons of TNT.
Okay, so what they mean by natural object is a meteor, and as it enters the Earth's atmosphere, that meteor breaks up. That's what causes that fragmented fireball. It's just that this one was actually really big because it turns out we have thousands of meteors that actually enter the atmosphere every single day. They're just too small.
And it's nice to get an explanation.
Exactly.
For the folks out there, like, wait a second, what was that?
Can that come with a little bit of a warning label?
Yeah,
you know?
a little bit. Yeah. Thank you for that extra info, though. We appreciate it. All right, we do want to turn now to the new details overnight in that deadly bus crash in Virginia that killed 5 people. The bus driver now facing charges. ABC's Andrew Dimber joins us with the latest. Andrew, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Whit. Which started as a horrific crash scene on one of the East Coast's busiest highways has now turned into a criminal investigation. That bus driver now charged in connection with the death of 5 people as investigators piece together what went wrong.
This morning, the bus driver at the center of this deadly I-95 chain reaction crash now facing criminal charges. Virginia State Police say 48-year-old Jing Dong has been charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter, and investigators say additional charges are pending. The fatal crash happening early Friday morning in Stafford County, Virginia.
Multiple people jumping out of windows, multiple vehicles on fire.
Authorities say the bus traveling from New York City to Charlotte, North Carolina, failed to slow down for traffic backed up near a work zone, slamming into multiple vehicles.
It seems fairly clear that if there was any braking, there wasn't much because of the speed and the severity of the collision, but too early yet to know exactly what was happening on board the vehicle.
5 people were killed. State police now identifying one of the victims, 25-year-old Priscilla Mafalda of Massachusetts. 4 other victims, including 2 children, were inside an SUV that caught fire after impact. More than 40 others were taken to hospitals. Video showing survivors climbing out of the smoke-filled, overturned bus. Federal investigators now on scene. The National Transportation Safety Board says it's investigating the bus driver's actions in the moments before the crash. The driver remains hospitalized but in custody, facing a maximum of 10 years in prison for each charge of involuntary manslaughter if convicted.
Authorities say their investigation is now focusing on examining the driver and those critical moments before the crash, the bus company, vehicle data, and the surrounding work zone backup. Gio.
All right, Andrew Dimber, thank you so much. Now to the fight against that fast-moving Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The head of the World Health Organization visiting the epicenter of that battle. And ABC's Rena Roy is here now following all of this. Rena, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, it seems the numbers just keep rising. And some doctors are now warning this outbreak is growing faster than any Ebola emergency in the past. The top official of the WHO traveled to the Democratic Republic of Congo this weekend, which is the epicenter. He says he and his team are there to listen to what's needed and support the community as they fight this deadly disease. The WHO suspects it's already claimed at least 240 lives, with over 1,000 people possibly infected. Cases doubling in only a matter of days. And keep in mind, guys, this is all happening less than 2 weeks before the FIFA World Cup. The U.S. and several other countries have implemented travel restrictions. But look, officials say there is no need to panic. They are stressing that the global risk is still very low, guys.
Yeah, but definitely those images very concerning.
Yeah, absolutely.
To a number of deaths. Okay, Rena, thank you. To Washington now, as President Trump weighs making a deal with Iran. It comes as we learn more information about American troops who have been injured during this conflict. ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang has more. Good morning, Selena.
And good morning to you, Rachel. The toll of this war with Iran on American service members is growing. A source tells us that several troops and civilian contractors were injured when an Iranian missile strike was intercepted over a U.S. base in Kuwait on Wednesday. Those Americans suffered minor injuries from the falling debris. An overnight CENTCOM says it disabled another ship trying to breach the U.S. blockade on its way to Iran. Officials saying U.S. forces issued multiple warnings before an aircraft fired a Hellfire missile into its engine room. But here's where things stand this morning on negotiations. There is still no deal with Iran, despite President Trump saying for weeks now that a deal is close. Trump is demanding Iran reopen the Strait of Hormuz, guarantee it won't develop a nuclear weapon, and hand over its highly enriched uranium. But Iran says its nuclear program, which is the issue at the very heart of this whole conflict, isn't even a part of these ongoing talks. And yet the president remains optimistic. In a taped interview that aired last night, Trump said the U.S. is, in his words, close to a very good deal with Iran. He says Iran has agreed not to build a nuclear weapon, but he wants them to agree not to buy one either. But even with Americans still feeling the economic pain of this war, President Trump made one thing very clear. He's in no rush to make a deal with.
Okay, Selena Wang, thanks so much. Let's bring in ABC's chief Washington correspondent, Jonathan Karl, who'll be hosting This Week later this morning. John, good morning to you. So we've been hearing rumblings of a possible peace deal with Iran for weeks now. What are your sources telling you about what's holding up the talks and whether there's been any progress at all?
Well, first of all, at the risk of sounding like it's Groundhog Day, I am told that they have never been closer to an agreement than they are now. The expectation is this could happen within the next 24 hours or so. But I say that with a degree of skepticism because we have been told variations of that several times over the past several weeks. My understanding is that this is essentially in President Trump's court, that there is an agreement to negotiate an agreement. So keep in mind, this is a very limited agreement if it happens. It would open up the Strait of Hormuz. It would establish for talks on those trickier issues regarding Iran's nuclear program, but it would not resolve any of them. That said, the optimism is clearly being expressed, not just by people in the administration, but by sources I have talked to in the region.
All right, well, we will stand by for news on that. Meantime, President Trump is coming off a week of some legal setbacks over his name on the Kennedy Center and that compensation fund of taxpayer dollars for those who claim they were targeted by the Biden administration. What's expected to happen next in those battles?
First of all, this was an incredible day of setbacks for the president. It all happened on Friday over the course of several hours. The Kennedy Center getting, a very blunt decision saying that the president and his handpicked board had no right to put his name on the Kennedy Center, that they had no right to close the center down as they've announced to do renovations. And that they have 14 days to take the name down. And then the weaponization fund challenged. Look, the interesting thing here, Whit, is that Donald Trump is making it clear he does not intend to appeal that Kennedy Center ruling, that he is instead saying, let Congress take care of it. I am, walking away from it all.
Okay, Congress back in session this week, so we'll see how it all plays out. Thanks so much, John, and tune in to This Week. Later this morning, John speaks with White House National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett and Democratic Senator Cory Booker on the state of negotiations with Iran. Gio.
Okay, wait, now to that viral video showing a North Carolina police officer repeatedly punching a woman during an arrest. The officer now losing his job, and ABC's Morgan Norwood is here now with more on this. Morgan, good morning.
Good morning to you, Gio. Yes, the officer seen in that now viral video has been fired. But for the family of Cherie Moore, that is not enough. This morning, they are calling for criminal charges as state investigators review the disturbing images you're about to see. This morning, a North Carolina police officer fired after this viral doorbell camera video posted to social media shows him repeatedly punching a woman in the head during an arrest.
While this incident does not reflect the values of the Shelby Police Department, it does reinforce the importance of holding ourselves to the highest standards of conduct.
The incident unfolding Friday in Shelby, just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. The video showing 34-year-old Cherie Moore and an officer in a struggle.
I don't have a warrant or it's in the house. What are you doing?
From the start, the two locked arms, and seconds later, the video shows the officer wrestling her to the ground and then punching her multiple times while attempting to place her in handcuffs. Then a second officer runs into frame.
Let go! Let go!
But the first officer continues to punch her as she screeches in pain.
I got her!
Cherie Moore eventually handcuffed, and at one point telling officers she's having a mental health crisis, saying she's not on her medication.
I seriously don't have a warrant.
Moore charged with breaking and entering, resisting arrest, and assault on a government official. Those charges later dropped. Her family sharing these images of her bloodied and bruised face.
She was calling my name, and I wasn't there for to protect her. So you know how that made me feel. That made me feel so bad.
No justice, no peace.
The video sparking outrage across the community, protesters marching and demanding accountability, and now the Moore family demanding justice.
We just want the right thing done, and I think the first right thing is that he be charged. Once he's charged, then we can move forward. We really need prayer. We're really hurting here.
And the officer's name has not been publicly released. Shelby Police Chief saying that this case has been turned over to the North Carolina State Department Bureau of Investigation for an independent review of any potential criminal violations. Rachel.
Okay, Morgan, thank you. The latest weapon in the fight against cancer may be a new blood test, bringing new hope that it can be diagnosed and treated earlier. ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Darian Sutton is here with the details. Good morning, Dr. Darian. Good to see you. So walk us through this. What exactly is this and how is this different?
Well, I'll start with these are preliminary results, so not yet peer-reviewed, but there's been enormous anticipation on the possibility of a blood test that can diagnose multiple cancers at once. It's called the Gallery test, and it's made by a company called Grail. It's a health and biotech firm. And in this study, they followed over 140,000 adults over the age of 50, all of whom had no symptoms of cancer, and they screened them every year. All received routine screening. Half of this group received this blood test as well every year. And at the end of the study, they looked to see how many cases of cancer were diagnosed, what stages, and whether or not the number of people diagnosed with late-stage cancer changed when you compare these two groups. And here are the results. The results are called mixed, and I'll tell you why in a second. But overall, there was no significant difference in stage 3 or 4 cancer. That's late-stage cancer. That's when cancer has spread. But really interesting, there was an increase in the rate in early cancers by about 16%. And when this test was added to routine screening, that increase jumped to 4-fold. Now, the reason why scientists call this mixed is because a test can diagnose an early cancer, but a great screening test that can be used at a population level not only diagnoses early cancer, but also cuts down on the number of people getting diagnosed with late-stage cancer.
Interesting. So explain how it can detect multiple cancers and not just one. And then what types of cancers are we actually talking about here?
Really interesting technology here. They're looking for genetic DNA or DNA evidence of the cancer. Now, a positive test doesn't mean that you have cancer. A negative test doesn't mean that you're cancer-free. But this might be beneficial, especially for those difficult to find cancers. For example, cancers that we don't have formal screenings for, like ovarian cancer, pancreatic cancer, even certain head and neck cancers. So there's a lot of potential here, but likely more longer studies are needed to help to understand that benefit.
FDA approval?
Not yet. Right now, it's commercially available, a pretty hefty price tag, about $1,000 for this test.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so right now, this company is submitting this information to the FDA. If it is approved, we might see an approval as early as 2027, but there's still more evidence that's needed to see if this can be covered by insurance.
Wow, okay. But could be a very interesting step.
It could certainly be.
All right, now to the NBA playoffs now, and we finally know who will tip off when the finals start on Wednesday. It's official. It will be Spurs, Knicks, that rematch, and ABC's Ike Ejiochi is here with how the Spurs punched their ticket. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. When history was made in Oklahoma City last night, the San Antonio Spurs, this young, fearless group led by 22-year-old Victor Wembanyama, walked into the house of the defending NBA champions and walked out headed to the NBA Finals.
Look at the emotion from Wemby.
This morning, the sound of victory.
This is what you want to see.
The reigning champion Oklahoma City Thunder are dethroned, and Victor Wembanyama,
The San Antonio Spurs have done it.
are headed to the finals. San Antonio came out of the gate on fire. Wembanyama throwing down early,
Wembanyama throws it on his head.
and the Spurs building a lead as big as 14.
And the Spurs lead by 14, 7 minutes in.
OKC kept fighting.
Clean look block.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander going on a personal run in the second quarter, cutting the lead to just 1.
What allowed OKC to close the gap?
Shai was being Shai.
The Spurs not letting up after the half. Wemby with the dunk.
Wemby on the attack.
Then the block within seconds of each other.
Wemby here, the last 2 plays.
Julian Champagnie unstoppable, finishing with 20 points, 18 of them coming from beyond the arc. SGA doing everything to keep his team alive, ending off with a stunning 35 points, his highest of the series.
He has done everything he can here.
But it wasn't enough to keep the Thunder rolling.
The Spurs are going to the NBA Final.
The final, San Antonio Spurs 111, Oklahoma City Thunder 103. Victor Wembanyama, 22 points, 7 rebounds, named the Irvin Magic Johnson Trophy winner as the Western Conference Finals MVP.
This feeling is, I can't explain it. It's so powerful. We want 4 more, we're not done. Go Spurs, go!
All right, it's a 1999 rematch. Spurs and Knicks, San Antonio back for the first time since 2014. The Knicks, they are well rested, but this young Spurs squad, they're proving age is just a number. Game 1 of the NBA Finals will be Wednesday, June 3rd at 8:30 p.m. right here on ABC, guys.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
Cannot wait. Well rested for you up until Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Up until Wednesday night.
All right, well, still ahead here on GMA, the American star still in the hunt for glory at the French Open and why this year could be their year to make history.
And a 100-year-plus fight for justice after one of America's most painful moments.
Her name is Lola. She was a showgirl, but that was 30 years ago when they used to have a show. Now it's a disco, but not for Lola. Still in the dress she used to wear, faded feathers in her hair. She sits there so refined and drinks her stout and wine. She lost her youth and she lost her Tony. Now she's lost her mind.
Oh, welcome back to GMA. You know who that is. Barry Manilow, hit song Copacabana. The singer remains on hiatus from the stage as he recovers from a cancer battle. And ABC's Chris Connolly, he sits down with Barry Manilow for an exclusive interview, and that is coming up tomorrow here on Good Morning America.
Yeah, great to see him speaking with Chris, and looking forward to hearing more about his recovery. We do want to take a look at some of the other top stories we're following on this Sunday morning. The mayor of Newark, New Jersey, enacting overnight a curfew as tensions flare at the site of an immigration detention center. Officials say clashes between state police and protesters have intensified and grown unsafe outside Delaney Hall. Demonstrators say detainees are being subjected to poor living conditions. The Department of Homeland Security denies those claims.
Authorities say they will not pursue charges after an alleged disruptive passenger prompted a United Airlines flight to be diverted on Friday. The flight from Chicago to Minneapolis landed in Madison, Wisconsin, where a 75-year-old man was detained. Officials say the man was having a mental health crisis.
An urgent search in Southern Virginia for a man suspected of killing a sheriff's deputy. 2 deputies were conducting a welfare check when they say shots were fired. Deputy Logan Utt was killed. The other deputy is in stable condition. Officials say the suspect, Michael Puckett, should be considered armed and dangerous.
An unforgettable Memorial Day trip for a Texas family. They were on Highway 377 when Shelby Dugerkamp went into labor almost 2 months early. 6 miles later, baby son Kane arrived, followed by his twin brother Callan. Everyone, we're told, is doing just fine.
Congratulations to them. Congratulations
Yes.
to them.
Yeah,
wow.
the ambulance came like 20 minutes after the second baby was born. So.
An unforgettable journey.
Yes.
All right, congratulations to them. We do start this half hour this weekend marking the 105 years since one of the deadly incidents of racial violence in U.S. history. As many as 300 Black Americans were killed by a white mob. ABC's Steve Osunsami looks back at the events that led up to that fateful day and the calls for justice that remain very loud over a century later.
Nearly 100 years ago to the day, it was America's racism on full display. A mob of white neighbors here were on the black side of town, shooting proud Black families dead. The Greenwood neighborhood was under attack.
Airplanes above us, and bullets raining down all around us.
And as we went out the door, you could see telephone poles falling, fire, and that's when my little sister said, "Ken, is the world on fire?"
And somehow, over the many years, both the white mob and their Black victims seen here with the guns at their backs, kept the massacre a secret.
We never did discuss it, and we don't even know.
The Greenwood neighborhood in Tulsa, Oklahoma was the pride and joy of America's former slaves in 1921. The shops and businesses did so well, they called it Black Wall Street. But there was resentment living on the other side of the railroad tracks that divided the city. The evening of May 30th was the beginning of the White Lash. That's when Dick Rowland, a 19-year-old black shoe shiner, needed to use the so-called colored restroom downtown. It was on the top floor of the Drexel building, and a young white woman named Sarah Page was in charge of the elevator.
We think as Dick walked on the elevator, he tripped. He automatically threw his hands out to break his fall, that he might have hooked his hand on Sarah Page's dress, that it tore, she screamed, and he ran out of the elevator.
A white store clerk who heard her scream told police that Dick Rowland attacked her. They arrested him the next day. The word across town was that they were going to lynch this man.
All I could see was black rolling smoke down south and the people going north.
The law, they never held anyone responsible for killing as many as 300 black Americans.
Well, that night is where they burned. That night we could see them burning the Negroes part of town.
The long road to justice for the last of the survivors of the Tulsa Race Massacre has not come to the end they wished. Before she died, we sat down with one of them, Miss Viola Fletcher, and her attorney, Demario Solomon Simmons. They were suing for compensation for the property, family, and friends lost when a mob of white neighbors executed black Americans here more than 100 years ago.
Is it safe to say you and the other survivors are pushing for payments?
Yes, whatever it takes to replace our loss. Yes.
Miss Fletcher died last year. Only one survivor is still alive. The courts have rejected almost all of their claims. The U.S. Justice Department decided it could do nothing either. For now, the families have been given an apology from the city of Tulsa and a new museum that tells the truth of what happened here.
And our thanks to Steve for his reporting. The lone survivor and the families of the victims continue to seek justice in their case. The mayor of Tulsa also announced a landmark $105 million initiative for the descendants of the massacre. He did announce that last year on June 1st, the first official Tulsa Race Massacre Observance Day. Guys, I've been to Tulsa, and you could feel the pain in that community, but you can also feel the resilience. And it's important to keep telling these stories and have people remember what happened.
It's such a painful part of our history, but what an incredible powerful story to see them talk about.
Great piece by Steve there.
We are back now with the French Open. The tournament has been a roller coaster with major upsets in the early rounds. ESPN tennis analyst Mary Jo Fernandez joins us from Paris to break down all the action. Mary Jo, it is great to see you. So let's start with Madison Keys. She's the only American woman remaining after defending champ Coco Gauff and others lost some tough matches this weekend. What can Madison do to key in on a second Grand Slam?
Well, Madison Keys is the last one standing on the women's side. We had 19 women from America start the tournament, and she's doing a great job of using her powerful game that won her the Australian Open last year. She broke through Madison with heavy hitting, with great accuracy, and she's in it. You said it. There's been a lot of upsets. There's been a lot of opportunities, and she's in the tougher half of the draw. She's up with Sabalenka. That's a potential quarterfinal, so that would be the obstacle for Madison Keys. But now that she has belief and she's got the firepower, there's definitely a pathway for Madison to win her second major title.
Okay, all right, let's talk about some of the men now, because there are two American men left in the final 16, including Francis Tiafoe. We saw him come back from 2 sets down. The last American man to win a major was more than 20 years ago. I couldn't believe that when I saw that stat this morning. So I don't know, are you betting on that changing?
I hope so. It has been a long time since Andy Roddick won the U.S. Open in 2003, but Francis Tiafoe has a great draw ahead of him. He's the only player ranked in the top 50 in his quarter of the draw. He has played 2 5-setters back-to-back. He did come back last night from 2 sets down and an early break, so that's a great effort for Francis. I like his chances. I think he's playing with more confidence. He loves, shot making, coming forward. He has a new team, new coaching team on his side that's trying to get him to play more aggressively. And I think he's got the belief, so we'll see. But this is a very good opportunity for Francis Tiafoe, who did make the quarterfinals here a year ago, to go even further this year.
I just love that you're mentioning belief in both of those answers, because that's how important that is. So, Mary Jo, the first week of this year's French Open was all about the upsets and 5-setters for the men. World number 1, Jannik Sinner, and the GOAT, Novak Djokovic. They were both on the bad end of both here, right? So what do you make of what we're seeing here?
And there it is. We've had so many upsets in week 1. We just had another huge one today with Swiatek going out, but it was record temperatures of heat in week 1, and the heat got to Jannik Sinner for sure. He was almost in the locker room. He was up 5-1, ready to win the match when he started cramping. And then Novak Djokovic also suffered in the heat, but he also suffered against a very young and talented Brazilian opponent, João Fonseca. Remember his name. You're going to see a lot from him.
We will. Mary Jo, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Believe.
Yeah.
Believe. We love that.
Got to.
All right, coming up here on Good Morning America, a classic movie is getting a remake of sorts. ABC's Will Gans has the story in pop news. Stick around. Okay, it is time now for pop news. I was waiting for the music. Will Gans has his finger on the entertainment world. As always, what you got?
I've got some good stuff for you today. We begin pop news this morning with Sir Paul McCartney celebrating the release of his first album, This Is Crazy, in 5 years by spilling some tea for Beatles fans. The Grammy winner appearing on Chicken Shop Date and revealing to Amelia de Moldenberg that back in the day, his favorite Beatle was John Lennon. Paul saying, I think we all used to look up to John because he was like the leader, even though there wasn't officially a leader of the group. I think all of us might have said John was our favorite Beatle. Meanwhile, Paul dropped a brand new lyric video for Come Inside. That is a new song that just dropped this weekend featuring some throwback photos. Take a look at this.
Step right up and take a look. See what you can find. 'Cause all my life's an open book. Come inside my mind.
The album, The Voice of Dungeon Lane, is streaming everywhere now.
I love that he's still making music. It is
And
so
great
cool.
music,
Yes,
too.
And you could hear that Beatles influence, right?
Totally.
So cool. All right, speaking of throwbacks, taking a look now at a fresh take on one of the all-time great horror classics. 63 years after this movie, The Birds, hit the big screen, the Alfred Hitchcock masterpiece is taking flight once again, this time on the small screen. Sarah Snook from Succession will star in this modern-day reimagining of The Birds, about a woman who returns to her isolated Alaskan hometown when her childhood friend turns up murdered, and nature begins to turn on the town in a series of increasingly violent bird attacks. No word yet on a premiere date for this, but in the meantime, keep your eyes.
I saw this when I was younger.
Oh, yeah.
And I have not recovered.
Well, you are physically reacting during that.
Anytime I see a bird, I'm like, oh God, oh God.
It's like every day in Central Park walking through.
That's right, the pigeons.
Coming at the pigeons.
God forbid
Man.
you pull out a Ritz cracker,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
like over.
Game over.
Yeah, that's right. All right, I love this story, you guys. This week, The Hollywood Reporter hosted a roundtable with some of the leading ladies of comedy, including Keke Palmer, Hannah Einbinder, and Quinta Brunson. During the conversation, though, Lisa Kudrow recounted a story when she was at the height of her friend's fame and a waitress mistook her for someone else. Take a look.
I just went, I know who you are. And I went, yeah. And she said, you are Dionne Warwick. Dionne Warwick.
Dionne Warwick.
She said, you are Dionne Warwick.
Oh.
And I just went,
No, I know.
Dionne Warwick. So the story, of course, has blown up online, and Popface tweeted a photo of Lisa and
side by
Dionne.
side,
yeah,
y'all.
side by side. But now Dionne has responded, leading into the hilarious mix-up, writing, "It looks like you may have chosen 2 photos of me for this side by side," which is so funny. But
She's amazing.
Dionne on Twitter is like
It's hilarious.
unparalleled.
Yeah. It's
So
like the Keke Palmer. Sorry to this man.
I am
Sorry to that woman. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry
Didn't
to this
recognize
woman.
it.
That's right.
Amazing. Thanks, Will. All right, we'll be right back.
Thank you for starting your day with us. You don't want to know what we were talking about during commercial break.
Sure you do.
Thank you, Rachel, for joining us. Thank you, Brianna in LA.
Oh, so good to have you
You
with
can
us.
catch more news on our coverage over on ABC News Live, Weekend Edition.
Have a great weekend and enjoy the rest of the last day of May.
That's right.
See ya.
See you in June. See you next month.